Welcome back to TinyBlueGames. My name's of course Seesaw or Chris, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV in 2020. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV and ExitLag. Now, this is a particularly special video for me because it's actually my first ever sponsored video. I'm actually getting paid to make content, which is really crazy for me to even think that someone wanted to pay me to make a video, but here we are. I should mention just before we get into the partnership and what ExitLag does and how it works for Final Fantasy XIV, I should mention that there is a link in the description as well as the top pinned comment. I do get paid for people who sign up through that link. I want to be fully transparent with all this. That link though, if you do want to sign up for ExitLag, it has a 3-day free trial. So if what I described during the video sounds at all interesting to you and you want to see if it works for you, you can try it for free, which is just such a nice way to try out services. In addition to that, if you do choose to sign up for the full deal, there is a discount code Seesaw that you can use to get 20% off however long you sign up for, as well as the fact that the first 6 people to use my link to sign up for either the free trial or whatever, and send me a direct message through Twitter, you'll find my Twitter link in the description as well, they will get a 7-day VIP added to their time. So you'll get kind of a 7 days extra added to your free trial if you're doing that. So now that we've discussed some of the details about the ExitLag partnership, we should probably discuss what the product actually does. And as the name would kind of lead you to believe, it tries to remove lag from your gameplay experience. They do this for a lot of different games, and I'll kind of do a brief overview of all those games, but specifically it does a pretty good job of doing this for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I never used ExitLag before they contacted me, and I've never really had too much issues with Final Fantasy XIV, but that being said, I've never really checked what my in-game ping is. I live in Western Canada, so typically it's not going to be too bad. I know it can be worse for people who live a bit further and have kind of more distance to travel between servers, but I'm definitely not a tech expert, so I'm not going to try and explain how all this works. That being said, the very first thing I had to do was try and find out what my ping is in Final Fantasy XIV. Now, checking your ping in Final Fantasy XIV is actually not that easy of a thing to do. It turns out that there's no way to do this in-game, and you kind of have to use your actual Windows systems to figure this out. So for a brief little techie explanation of how to do this, and it's really simple. I mean, if I was able to figure this out, anyone can. You can hit the Window key and R, and then from there you just type in Resmon, I guess, R-E-S-M-O-N. I have no idea if that's how you would pronounce that. And it will open the resource monitor. From there, you can go down and you can find your Final Fantasy XIV, and you can see how much ping you're playing with. And for me, like I said, I'm in Western Canada. It seemed to hover around 80 to 90. It'll go up and down depending on the delays, but if you let it open and sort of stay open for a bit, you'll kind of get a good sense of where you sit. Now, 80 to 90 ping isn't that bad, especially for an MMORPG. It might be a little bit worse if you're playing a shooter. For instance, when I do play Fortnite, I believe it sits closer to like 40 or 50, and that's kind of the area that ExitLag is trying to say that they could get Final Fantasy XIV to. So the next step of this video is downloading and installing ExitLag. So you simply head over to ExitLag and you log into your account. You make sure that you have some time on your account, either the free trial, or if you're one of the 6 people who gets the 7 days extension, or if you just, purchase a plan or whatever, you go to your account and you download the ExitLag client. It's really easy to download, just like any other software you'd be downloading. It'll have you install it and probably restart your computer. Now, one of the big things I was concerned of when adding this program to my computer is that it was a program that was going to be always running in the background, or that was going to sort of launch on startup and stuff like that, and that can get really irritating when you're not using the program. As it turns out, it defaults to not starting up with the startup of your computer, and when you're done with it, you can just exit out of it. You can, of course, change all that to start up if you do enjoy that, but I'm definitely someone who likes to actively choose when I'm running a program to use it for specific tasks. So once you do start it up, you'll get presented with this screen. So all the screen's doing is really taking some time to optimize routes for your specific location. I think it took me all of like 1 to 3 minutes for this to go through it, and it'll just find the best routes so you're able to switch it on for specific games. So once you do go through this and you get presented with the main dashboard of ExitLag, you'll find on the left side that there is a list of all the games they offer. And then there is a tremendous amount of games that they offer services to, and even very new releases. I looked down and I saw that New World, which just had its recent preview, was on the list, which is pretty crazy to think that they kind of get to games that quickly. So once you go through that, you can go and find Final Fantasy XIV and you can switch it on. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, they kind of suggest a average of like 46 or 45 ping that it's going to find. And what I read into this is it's going to kind of be between 40 and 50 because ping's always fluctuating as you play the game. And you activate that and then you can go ahead and launch Final Fantasy XIV. So I am now in game, I'm on Seesaw and I have ExitLag running in the background. Everything seems to be running smoothly. If I go back to the ExitLag dashboard, I will see that I am running at that sort of desired 46 average ping. It does go up and down and such as time goes on, but it seems like everything's running really smoothly. I could just leave it here, but I did want to kind of double check that this is exactly the same data source as before I installed the ExitLag software. So I wanted to double check the resource manager to see if my ping had actually changed for Final Fantasy XIV. So I opened back up the resource manager and now you will see that the Final Fantasy XIV is actually running at a much lower ping. It'll be between the 40 and 50 area. It won't just average right out to 46 because I think that's just something that the ExitLag dashboard does to make it easier to read. But you'll notice I have the new one on the right side and the old one on the left side. And you'll notice that the ping has been reduced by a fair amount and it consistently keeps that up. Now, will you notice this in gameplay? Yes, maybe in certain mechanics. As I mentioned before, my ping wasn't necessarily that bad to begin with, but if your ping is particularly bad, it could be a big help. And I think that's kind of the first thing I would suggest is if you've ever had issues getting out of telegraphs or anything that would be related to lag, and you've never checked your ping because it's kind of hard to do with Final Fantasy XIV, it might be worth just checking your ping. And you could obviously do that with the resource monitor, or you could try the free trial of ExitLag and kind of get a reading that way and see if they do have an optimized route for you. And I will reiterate that this is not the best solution for everyone. If you go through the reviews, if you go kind of through their Facebook posts and kind of look at the comments, some people will say it is like an amazing change. Some people will say it's actually sometimes a bit slower depending on where they are. So that's kind of the beauty of that free trial, is that you do get to see what kind of solution they are offering and if it is worth value to you, right? So that's the benefit there. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you have ever had issues with ping in Final Fantasy XIV. If you have had issues, how you have solved it. Have you tried ExitLag before? Or do you have a different way to solve it that people could give a try as well? But yeah, that's about everything I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know this is a new thing, having sponsored content, but it's a pretty big thing for the channel because it does allow me to invest more time and resources into the channel if I am able to obviously get some more revenue out of it. So it's kind of a push-pull sort of situation that hopefully you'll understand is needed to kind of put that more time investment into the channel. It's also really cool of ExitLag to partner with smaller YouTubers. I just definitely consider myself to be quite a small YouTuber still, and it's really cool to have these bigger companies reach out and partner with smaller YouTubers like myself. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you are interested in ExitLag, be sure to use the URL down below to get onto my affiliate link because it does help out the channel, and use the discount code Seesaw if you do choose to purchase any of the plans. Additionally, if you are one of the first 6 people to use that link and you do send me a direct message through Twitter, I will be sure to send you over that 7-day VIP code as well. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.